I want to talk to you about Fifth Third Bank personal loans and lines of credit, the top 5 hacks for successful application, and super fast approval. So if you are someone out there who is looking for a loan or line of credit from Fifth Third Bank, I want you to stick around till the end of today's conversation. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sorta Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, we want to talk about a very important banking institution in the United States. We have Fifth Third Bank, okay? And we are going to talk about their personal loans and lines of credit. And I'm going to share with you the top 5 hacks for successful application and super fast approval. Let me first give you an overview. So when we talk about Fifth Third Bank, you have to understand the bank is based in Ohio, and they have a strong branch network across 11 states in the Midwest, South, and Southeast. Okay, so we're talking about a bank that is geographically limited. Okay, so you got to think about that. So what are the 11 states? You have Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, and West Virginia. So it's very important to sort of understand that. Okay, so when we talk about Fifth Third Bank, we are talking about a bank that has about 50,000 ATMs across the country. Okay, and they actually are constantly expanding. This is really good. And in terms of customer service, they are really great. Okay, their products, their savings products are decent, but their credit products are really good. The only thing is you need to have a relationship with them. Let's talk about the loan options. So when we talk about Fifth Third Bank loans, personal loans, you have the signature loan. Okay, the loan amounts here goes from $2,000 to $50,000. Okay, if you want to apply online, you can apply up to $25,000. If you want more than that, you got to go to a branch. Okay, terms available 12 to 60 months. Okay, the APR is kind of decent, 6.49% to 18.49%. This is really good. And so you have the ability to select the first payment date up to 45 days, okay, out. This is really good. So you have the signature loan, which is unsecured. You also have the secured loan. So if you have here, you can borrow from $2,000 to $500,000. Okay, so the loan has requirements between 50% to 100% of collateral. Terms available 12 to 60 months. Okay, the level of collateral you have to put in there, this depends on your relationship with Fifth Third Bank. So in terms of lines of credit options, you have an unsecured line of credit that goes from $5,000 to $100,000. Okay, up to 10% of verified liquid assets. Very important. You have a 5-year draw period followed by a 10-year repayment period. Okay, the APR here ranges from 7.75% to 9.25%. Okay, and you also have a secured line of credit that actually where you can borrow from $5,000 to $500,000. But again, here you have to have between 50% to 100% of collateral. Very important. So now let me share with you the 5 hacks you need to have in mind anytime you apply for a credit product, especially a personal loan or a line of credit with Fifth Third Bank. So the first hack is you need to have an MPR with Fifth Third. So we call this a multi-product relationship. Banking with Fifth Third is very important. I mean, not only because you have a lot of advantages in terms of the amount you can borrow. Okay, so think about it. If you don't have a relationship with them, you can borrow up to $10,000 or $15,000. If you do have a relationship with them, you can borrow up to $25,000 online. If you want to borrow more, you got to go to a branch. But the thing here, when we talk about relationship banking with Fifth Third Bank, it's more than just having access to a generous amount of money that you can borrow. Okay, we're talking about the ability to obtain long-term planning and support for your personal life and business. Okay, and what I'm trying to say here is that you want to get to know a specific branch, your branch, You want people to know you on the first name basis if possible. Okay, it's important to think about Fifth Third bankers as allies, as friends, as folks who are going to help you reach your financial goals. Very important. Okay, with that you can have better loan and finance opportunities. Okay, you can obtain a higher level of customer service. We are speaking about getting a seasoned advocate for your business. Okay, if you want to have a business account with them too. So when we talk about establishing a multi-product relationship with Fifth Third Bank, what I'm asking you to do is at a minimum, you want to open a checking account with them. You want to open a savings account. Those are minimums. The more accounts you can open, the better. I'm not just saying to open accounts just for the sake of opening accounts. I'm talking about parking strategically your cash into Fifth Third Bank accounts. That way, as you raise your level of liquidity with the bank, they will also reciprocate by extending you more loans and lines of credit. This is very important, okay? And when we talk about also relationship banking with Fifth Third Bank, you can also acquire a source of new business contacts with them, because Fifth Third is, as I said from the get-go, they are a geographically limited bank, right? They are available in 11 banks, but the communities that they serve, they are very, very into that community. They are well known. They are an important pillar of those communities in which they serve. Okay, and the bottom line here is that you also want to invest in a banking relationship manager. You want someone to actually look at your account and advise you about the products and services that you could qualify for at Fifth Third Bank. Really important. So the first hack, you need to decide to have a stronger relationship with Fifth Third. The second hack I want to share with you is direct deposit. If you are listening to me right now, you are interested in getting a loan or line of credit from Fifth Third Bank, it will help you tremendously if you had direct deposit with Fifth Third Bank. Okay, so you have direct deposit into a Fifth Third account. I'm not asking you to do 100% direct deposit, because you probably want to allocate your funds into other accounts. But at a minimum, you want to have your direct deposit, 25% of your direct deposit into a Fifth Third account. This is really important because it's going to show Fifth Third that you are not only trying to build a relationship with them, so some of your cash is coming to their coffers, okay? But they also see that you work. See, when we analyze direct deposit from the perspective of a lender, we analyze three things and we see three wonderful benefits. You have the ability to show the lender, in this case Fifth Third Bank, that you are getting paid every 2 weeks. So this is what we call the frequency of pay. You have the ability to show the lender that you are being paid a certain amount. That's what we call the benefit of pay. So in other words, you are substantiating the amount of money you are sending, you're making. Okay, and the third thing is you are indirectly verifying your employer. In other words, Fifth Third knows who is sending the money to you every 2 weeks or every week or every month. Okay, so this is really good. When you have direct deposit, you are basically enjoying three major benefits: the ability to verify your income, to verify your employer, and to verify the frequency of your pay. This is really good. Okay, and you need to understand that beyond that, direct deposit has many benefits for employees. Okay, so you don't have to go somewhere to cash your checks. You don't have to be in the office to get paid. You don't need to worry about asking your employer to reissue lost or stolen checks. Okay, you can control where the money goes. This is really important. Okay, and so the bottom line here is that you have a timely depositing of checks. Reduced time requires for checks to clear. Okay, reduced chains to actually get your money on the same day. And you don't want to lose checks or having them stolen. So this is what it is. Okay, very important. So I want you to think about that. So first hack, you need to have a stronger relationship with the Fifth Third. The second hack I want you to have is to get direct deposit either fully or partially into a Fifth Third account. The third hack I want you to think about today is to think about your FICO score. This is really important because Fifth Third wants you to have a minimum of 600. Okay, if you have less than 600, they are okay with that as long as you have a stronger relationship with them. You need to understand that when we talk about credit in general and the credit at Fifth Third, it's not just your FICO score is one criterion, but an important one at that. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to improve your FICO score all the time, constantly. This has to be a continuous and ongoing effort of yours. Okay, so you want to check your credit report for accuracy. When was the last time you checked your credit report for accuracy? Did you notice anything derogatory, anything adversarial, anything dichotomous on your credit report? If you did, it's important to constantly dispute to send dispute letters. You can dispute the item with the data furnishers. I'm talking here about the credit card issuers or the lender. Okay, or you can contact the credit reporting agencies automatically and directly. Okay, it's important. So you want to make sure that you always pay your credit account on time. Also, this is important. You want to lower systematically your credit utilization ratio. So I'm giving you tips and gems here that you need to understand. If you want to lower your FICO score, you want to improve, you want to raise your FICO score in general and improve your odds of getting a Fifth Third loan or line of credit. Very important. Okay, and you want to take care of credit accounts that have been sent to collections. The thing is that Fifth Third always pays attention to how you handle collection accounts. Okay, because they're trying to see whether you are very good at handling the what I would call the problematic accounts. That tells them a lot about your ability to fix problems. Okay, so make sure that you pay attention to that. You also want to optimize your account age, credit mix, and credit inquiries. What I'm trying to say here is you want to lower the credit inquiries that you have. Don't try to apply for a credit all the time. Be strategic. Okay, you want to plan things out. You want to understand what you are trying to get here. What is your goal? Okay, so overall, one thing I want to say here is that you want to be in a position where you constantly monitor your credit report. You can do so through providers such as Nerd Wallet, Wallet Hub. Okay, you have Credit Karma. You have also a series of credit card issuers such as Capital One. They have a service called Credit Wise. You don't have to be a Capital One card holder to benefit from that service. Okay, those are free credit monitoring services. The fourth hack that I want you to pay attention to is your financials. The one thing we have seen from analyzing Fifth Third Bank underwriting process for the last 20 years. 20 years is that the bank pays attention a lot to your personal financial statements. As an applicant, you want to actually structure everything properly so the bank understands your financial situation right off the bat. Very important not to confuse them. You want to have things granular. You have to have things detailed. You want to have things properly. Okay. So when we talk about your personal financial statements, nothing complicated. You can do this yourself, not a problem. Okay, you have tons of templates on the internet. You can also download apps. There are free apps that allow you to build your personal financial statements, but at a minimum you just want to show, when we say personal financial statements, you want to have a balance sheet, a personal balance sheet, and a personal income statements. Very simple. So when we talk about personal income statements, we are alluding to your budget, because this is what it is. Okay, so income statement means what? It means your income items, where you're getting money from, and your expense items. Okay, so when you actually subtract your expenses from your income every single month, you get what? Your disposable income. And this is an important figure that Fifth Third Bank is going to look at in determining your financial situation. Okay, and we also talk about a balance sheet. Balance sheet, this is where you have your assets, what you own, versus your liability, what you owe. So when we talk about your assets, we're speaking about bank accounts, retirement accounts, investment balances, real estate, personal property with significant value, such as rare art collections, coin collections, antiques, and jewelry. Your liabilities refer to all the debt you owe. Okay, mortgages, student loans, credit card debts, car and boat loans, loans where you are the co-signer, unpaid taxes, and medical debts. Okay, so Personal financial statements work in a pretty simple way. In other words, you are listing your assets, and you are listing your assets in one column, and you are listing your liabilities in another column. So when you subtract, as I said before, when you subtract your liabilities from your assets, you get something called net worth. And Fifth Third pays attention to your net worth as well. Okay. The question is, do you need a personal financial statements? You definitely do. If you are trying to boost your approval odds with a Fifth Third in terms of their loans or lines of credit, it really helps to have an income statement and a balance sheet that basically shows those two financial reports must show ideally positive numbers. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sort of Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about Fifth Third personal loans and lines of credit. And I want to share with you the fifth hack you need to have in mind. Whenever you want to apply for a loan or line of credit with Fifth Third, please pay attention to your employment, because Fifth Third is going to verify your employment. Okay. And the thing is, they do this because they want to ascertain that you are indeed working. So I was talking to you earlier about the ability to actually quote unquote fix 3 problems related to employment if you have direct deposit. Okay, so I spoke about your employer, your pay, and your pay frequency. So when we talk about employment, just rest assured that Fifth Third will work with you, even if you have a part-time job, if you have a season job, if you have let's say a temp job, it's not a problem. What they look at cash flows. Okay, they look at stability in your employment history, because if you job hop all the time, job hopping is really bad when it comes to estimating your chances of being approved. Okay, they really actually frown upon that. If they see that you just go from one job after 2 weeks, you don't have time to actually solidify your experience within a company, that's really bad when it comes to Fifth Third. They really don't like that. So what they want to see instead is a pattern of stability. It doesn't matter, as I said before, if you work as a seasoned employee or as a temp or a part-time. As long as they see stability, this is really important. One thing I also want to say is that they verify employment to make sure that you are basically earning enough money to repay the loan, because remember, that loan is not going to pay itself by itself, right? You need to have a cash flow. So when we talk about employment, we are also talking indirectly about income, because there is a difference between earned income. So when you have a 9-to-5 jobs, but you can also have income from investments. You can have income from other sources. You can have income from alimonies and spousal supports. So there is a constellation of income sources. You can actually show Fifth Third to tell them, hey, listen, I'm making enough money to repay this loan. I will be in a position to repay this loan, not a problem. Because for them, liquidity, as I said, is really important. Let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation. In general, when we talk about applying for a loan or a line of credit at Fifth Third, make sure that you have the right paperwork. First of all, they pay attention a lot to the loan application, how you fill the loan application. And based on our research, it's just a lot better to go to a branch to ask for an application form there. And on top of that, you have the ability to ask questions, okay, to have a chat with a loan rep. They'll ask you all your questions. So make sure that you fill out the loan application form correctly. It is the same thing for the form is similar for a loan or a line of credit. Okay, they'll ask you proof of identity. So this could be your driver's license, your passports, your state issued ID, your birth certificates, your social security card, your military ID. It really depends on the location where you applied for the loan. Okay, and they will ask for employer and income verification. So here you are speaking about pay stubs, tax returns, W-2s, and the 1099s. Very important. Your bank statements also play an important role. Your employer's contact information, okay? And also, when we talk about one thing, they will ask for proof of address. So this could be a utility bill, a lease or a rental agreement, a mortgage statement, proof of insurance on your home, lease, rental, or a vehicle. Okay, this could be a property tax receipts. It could also be a bank or credit card statements. Okay, so remember that in all applications, when it comes to loans and lines of credit at Fifth Third Bank, if you do not get approved, do not panic. Okay, it's important. If you applied for, let's say you applied for an unsecured credit product and you get rejected, please read the notice. Okay, the adverse letter, the adverse decision letter, to understand why you are denied in the first place. And you could try again to either remedy the issues that they raised in their underwriting process, or you can get a cosigner, for example, okay, or you can choose a secured personal loan, or you can even lower the amount that you are borrowing, that you're trying to borrow, okay? This is very important. And don't forget to always specify the loan purpose. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was talking to you about Fifth Third Bank personal loans and lines of credit, and I share with you 5 hacks that you can use today to actually clinch approval super fast. Okay, so I gave you an overview about this topic, and the 5 hacks were: Fifth Third MPR, in other words, a multi-product relationship, direct deposit, FICO Score, financials, and employment. And I gave you a few pro tips to help you actually have an impeccable loan or line of credit application process. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.